We see a cloaked figure in the dark of night. We suddenly switch to the village where we see these kids' mom calling them for dinner, or something. We see the dad of them on guard duty. Two girls approach and claim to be lost. The man is very welcoming and brings them into his home. They explain that on their way to sell potions at the capital, they got lost in the forest. The goofy-looking kid says he'll protect them from monsters with his dagger. The dad smirks and says they should stay for the night. The sisters thank him and gives them a perfume as a gift. The family made some good-looking dishes for the sisters. The scene cuts to an old man who seems to be on guard duty. We see a guy say, "For the chief to be on guard duty must mean we have guests." The chief gives a creepy smirk and confirms. We see the two girls sleeping and the older one suddenly wakes up. She then sees her younger sister getting choked. We see that it's the dad and the village chief's doing. She then gets choked and knocked out. We see someone going through their bag and there is a bunch of potions on the floor. The two girls are now on the floor with shaven heads. We are now outside as we see a bunch of villagers in the dead of night. We don't get to see what they were doing though. It is now daytime and we see the weird skinny kid with the bad haircut tell his dad he has work to go to. The other kid then says they should play pretend pirates and we see their parents wish them safety as they go outside. The dad compliments the mom's hairband which clearly looks like the one we saw on the older sister from before. Anyway, we see the dad get on guard duty and a shady figure knocks on the gate. The dad and the other guard seem alarmed due to this being early for a guest to come. They peep and see the girl from the day before. She asks where her big sister is. The man is shocked as to how she is still alive. She destroys the gate effortlessly and we see that this girl was actually Raoul. He even seems to know what happened that night. The men have no idea who he is so he promptly introduces himself as the revived hero who appeared at the capital on the princess's wedding day. The guard cuts him off by trying to get a cheeky sneak attack on him. He epically fails and easily detained by Raoul. He finishes his introduction as the hero who's back for revenge. We even get this cool page. The villagers are flabbergasted as to why the former hero Raoul Evans had come to their village. Maybe they should have asked that first before attacking him. Anyway, the village chief steps up asks the hero what business he has with their remote little village. Raoul doesn't respond to it, he instead asks if they had seen any monsters around their village a year ago. The village chief starts sweating bullets. He claims that their village is a remote village and is known for its lack of monster activity. Raoul does not take too kindly to these excuses and uses magic to show them the past. About a year ago to be exact. We see the hero's party. This is before the Demon King's defeat and they're at witness to the massacre of a population of people by demons. One of the members of the hero party says it's too late. Raoul disagrees and says he is going to save everyone, even if there's just one person alive. We take a closer look at the demons. We see one of them call these children commodities. He also tells the other one not to kill many of them. The other demon disagrees and says it wouldn't matter much if just one of them was to die. He then lifts one of them up and pokes two of his eyes out. The other kid begins to beg for his friend's life. The demon calls the kid damaged goods. He says damaged goods can't be sold and is about to crush his head. But the hero Raoul Evans is there to save the day. He easily and conveniently kills the demon. He grabs a hold of the kid with his eyes poked out and calls for one of his party members to heal him. Raoul looks at the kids and feels sad. He prays for the dead and the kids. Raoul asks about the kid that got injured. Christiana, a member of the hero's party, says his eyeballs were crushed and that there is no way for him to recover them. Raoul apologizes for coming too late to save the others and the now blind kid. The other kid is upset. He blames the hero Raoul. He isn't happy that he is weak unlike the hero, Raoul. He is devastated that he and his friends have lost everything, they're even orphans now. The hero watches intently before saying, "Me too." Raoul says he was once an orphan like them. His village was once attacked by demons too. He relates this to the kid. The kid is touched by Raoul's story and wants to save people too. Raoul gives him a dagger that kind of looks familiar. Raoul tells him to keep it as it will signify his determination. The kid asks if Raoul really thinks he could one day be as strong as him. Yes, Raoul says. We later see the kids walking somewhere. Apparently it's some kind of transportation mission. They're happy that they can be some kind of good to Raoul as he is in the front lines. On their way, some black-suited man tells all of them to stop. He seems to be their superior and he has some kind of box with him. He claims that the forest ahead is dangerous and filled with monsters, so he will be giving them some kind of strength potion. Wait, I think it's that guy from the hospital place where Raoul killed all the scientists. Things can't end well for these kids. We then get a flashback to Lord DaCosta's estate. We see the father and son duo looking terrified. It's because of the letter they just received. It says, "Notice. At 8 p.m. 3 days later. I will be helping to Lord DaCosta and his heir Johannes Kuhn." After they read the letter, a voice is heard. It's the one and only former hero, Raoul. Lord DaCosta orders his mercenaries to dispatch the former hero. Apparently these guys also fought in the war against the Demon King and helped win the war. But as expected, they're nothing against our overpowered MC. Raoul takes them out. Lord DaCosta and his son are probably peeing themselves right now. Raoul calls them his appetizers before he kills that one goofy doctor from a few chapters ago. The son throws his father under the bus and pleads for his life. The father reacts by trying to bribe our MC. But as we all know, it isn't money Raoul wants, it's their heads. They give out a terrible scream and we all know what happens next. We return back to the present, and we see that weird creepy guy. He is trying to get the orphans to drink that crappy super soldier fluid. The kids agree eagerly, probably hoping to be strong like Raoul. But like I said before, knowing this manga, this can't end well. The kids start to vomit blood. The man explains that the drug gives them super strength. He says they'll be fine as long as they drink water. He tells them to go Nor village and ask them to share some water with them. They then undergo the transformation. The man rides off on his horse and believes that the orphans likely won't survive. Upon transformation, the orphans immediately feel pain in their throats, or what's left of it. Basically, the only one among them that has a personality sees the sword that Raoul gave him and remembers his resolve to protect people. After reaching Nor village at the end of the forest, they plead with the villagers for water. We see that it's the same village Raoul is attacking. The villagers, upon seeing the monsterized kids, are afraid. They continue to beg, but their pleas fall on deaf ears. One of them gets mad and tries to break down the village door. He last second restrains himself. Also, I'm gonna start calling this guy the leader cause it'll be less confusing. The village chief comes and asks what's going on. He takes a look and makes a few comments on their looks. The monsters explain what happened, how they're supply soldiers and were made to take a drug that turned them into monsters. They plead with the villagers saying that if they get water they will return to normal. The village chief surprisingly believes them and even offers to give them water. Just when the leader of the former orphans tries to take it, this sadistic old man tells them to pay for it. Now I can't lie, this manga is really messed up. Look at how sad the kid's face was. The guy even says it again. The other villagers even join in. They began a chant. They continue to beg. The thirst for water even makes them start to cut themselves in the shoulder. The old hag even further elaborates. He says, "We have all the water in the world here, but it ain't free. Besides, you're soldiers, right? If you're soldiers, you should be putting the citizens first, not yourselves. Begging the people for things is simply absurd." Had to quote all of that so you would know how horrible these guys were to the kids. Anyway, the leader of the orphans clenches his dagger one last time before literally exploding. We cut back to the present. Raoul ends the spell and the villagers look petrified. The village chief says it was all fake and Raoul takes a dagger from one of the village kids. The villagers began to panic and Raoul-sama explains that the villagers did not only leave them there to die, but they scavenged their corpses for any valuables. We then get an exposition dump on how the village is located near the border. How they primarily make their money by stripping everything off of refugees and travelers. The village chief again tries to play things off and calls it a baseless accusation. Raoul in return explains how he knows all of this. You see, the black magic he obtained was quite broken. It allowed him to disguise himself like we saw earlier. It even allows him to read the memories of dead bodies. And now we know who that hooded figure was at the beginning. Being faced with overwhelming evidence, the village chief had to admit it was true. But even then, he did not care. The others even joined him and agreed that they had no choice but to do this. Now Raoul, being Raoul, didn't actually care what these guys were doing. What he was there for was revenge. He wanted revenge for what these trash cans did to his comrades. In order to save their own butt, the villagers blamed it all on the village chief. Some even lie, claiming that they did not know any of this was going on. Raoul mocks their pathetic attempt at saving their own butts. He makes it clear that not a single one of them is coming out of this alive. The village chief asks what he's gonna do with them. Raoul is delighted by that question and tells them, "Let's go on a trip." He then uses magic to force them to follow him. Their legs start to move against their wills and they go on a field trip.
That's all for today, guys. Like and subscribe and comment down below for a part 2.